Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of the Storytime Society. I am your host Jamie and I'm so happy you're here. I'm so glad you're alive. Thanks for tuning in. Whoa, did I almost just puke? Maybe. Okay, the theme of this episode is, oh, did I say I'm so happy you're here? I'm so glad you're alive. Okay. The theme of this episode is wedding drama. So let's get into it. Bride and groom trying to cancel my paid resort booking out of spite. Can they actually do that? Hi everyone, I'm part of a destination wedding group booking through a travel agent. I paid for my full share of the resort reservation under my name, including flight and hotel, and was originally part of the bridal party. Due to personal conflicts and repeated emotional disrespect from the bride and groom, I chose to respectfully withdraw as a bridesmaid. No drama, no hostility. I made it clear that I was still attending the trip as a guest, separate from the wedding events. The bride removed me as a bridesmaid after already losing 6 others. I was the second last one. She then cut off all communication and told me I'd need to speak to her fiancé instead. He proceeded to threaten that unless I speak to her and resolve things on her terms, I would not be allowed to attend at all. I accepted the situation with grace and wished them well. But now they're retaliated by saying that since I'm not attending the wedding, they've canceled my entire reservation. Even though I paid in full, the room is in my name and I'm sharing it with another bridesmaid. The booking is under their group contract with the resort, but I have the invoice and confirmation under my name. They even told me, do not attempt to show up, which feels like intimidation more than anything else. The resort says they can see the group but not individual bookings and that it's all managed through the travel agent. I've emailed the agent, it's the weekend, and I'm hoping she can confirm my spot. The trip is less than 2 weeks away and I'm just trying to enjoy the vacation I paid for, separate from the wedding drama. My family and friends are livid, and yes, I will take legal action if this isn't resolved. But for now, I just want clarity. Has anyone gone through something like this before? Any advice on how to protect myself or what next steps to take? Thank you. I'm not looking for conflict, just peace. Okay, well, I think, yeah, obviously, like, contact. I highly doubt the travel agent is going to be like, yeah, I'm canceling because this. No, you paid for it, and I don't see why you wouldn't be able to go. Either that or you're fully refunded for everything that you purchased. And I don't really understand what they thought that you were just going to be like, okay, sounds good. I'm out of all that money, which I'm sure wasn't cheap at all. Some of OOP's comments. Someone said, so where do they think the bridesmaid you are sharing the room with will stay? And OOP said, they're expecting me not to go on the trip at all. Quote, we have therefore removed your name from the booking effective immediately. There will be no reservation under your name at the resort, so we advise you not to attempt to arrive under this booking. Your payment will not be refunded due to the non-refundable policy, and this matter is now closed. I've spoken to my paralegal bestie, a third party. Despite being the bride or groom, cannot cancel a reservation made under my name that's been paid in full without serious legal implications. The lack of confirmation is what's making me nervous. Ew, what the hell? What someone said, what does the other bridesmaid say about all of this? Does she still expect you to foot half the cost for the room she now gets to herself, or was she booted out as well, and where did her deposit go? OOP said the only bridesmaid left is an acquaintance of hers from Europe who's not in this country and doesn't speak English very well. I haven't met her. We've spoken briefly. She seems sweet. I helped her with the bookings and her transfers from the airport to the hotel. Our room is a split shared booking, but the room reservation is under my name. I'm staying for 7 days while she's only staying for 3. So the agent recommended doing a split booking under my name since I'm staying longer. She likely has no idea what's going on. Okay. What in the world is going on? I really hope that she got a response because I actually am like, I want to know what the hell they're going to do. Like, they definitely are bullshitting her. I have a feeling.
If you want extra content weekly, head over to patreon.com/storytimesociety and become a member on there for extra content. Love you.
There's a side post that was posted the next day. Title, How the Bride Lost All 7 of Us. A lot of people have been asking about how this bride lost all 7 of her bridesmaids, including me. I never replied to it in the other post because I'm solely there for friendly advice and resolutions to the situation, but I understand wanting to know more. So if you're here from the other post, welcome back. Please keep in mind that all of this information is directly from the bride, except for my story. A bridesmaid story. 1. This bridesmaid found out she was pregnant before booking a trip. She let the bride know that she didn't feel comfortable traveling overseas as this is her first pregnancy and she'd like to stay in the country. The bride was not happy about this. She brought up her disappointments with this bridesmaid a few times, saying someone else is still coming to the wedding, even though they're in the same trimester of their pregnancy. Each time she brought it up, I reassured her that though I understand her disappointment, the bridesmaid is still being reasonable as it's her pregnancy. If she's not comfortable, then that's perfectly valid. At that time, I reassured her that it's okay. She has other bridesmaids, 2, 3, and 4. These bridesmaids dropped out pretty early. I don't have any details as I don't know them personally, but the reasons given by the bride were events already in place for the date of the wedding and financial reasons. Number 4 was an argument. She didn't go into details, but number 4 was the first bridesmaid to get booted. 5. This bridesmaid was a friend of the bride's since back in university. The story is a little convoluted, so I'll do my best to stay on an appropriate timeline. This bridesmaid had just got engaged prior to our bride asking her to be a bridesmaid. They both had a mutual friend who was also getting married. The mutual and the bride had a bad fallout back in university. This mutual and this bridesmaid are still friends and are attending each other's weddings. When our bride asked this bridesmaid to be one, it created conflict with the mutual and this bridesmaid uninvited our bride to her wedding and withdrew as a bridesmaid due to conflict with the bride over these issues. 6. This bridesmaid was the closest to the bride and had a long history of on and offs during their relationship over the years, based on stories the bride had shared with me. The last I spoke to the bride about this bridesmaid, only 2 months before the wedding, she was supposed to visit the bride, but that didn't end up happening. The only details I have are what the bride provided in our shared bridesmaid group chat, as she didn't reach out to me directly to speak about this one. It stated that she could not attend for personal reasons. Me, we know my story for the most part. I've made Pinterest boards and idea pages for her photo shoots. I helped support her through the loss of the bridesmaids. I built her a personal little makeup kit for the days of the wedding and offered to touch up her makeup as needed. The last thing I helped with was to find themes and asked for her preferences for the bachelorette, which she replied to with, "Ick. I'll just ask ChatGPT, LOL." This was the start of our fallout. I booked off time from work, bought the flight tickets, and paid for my reservation well in advance. The most important being the emotional support during all of these stressors that she consistently had regarding bridesmaids, her mom, her fiance. Things progressively got worse the closer we got to the wedding date. It wasn't always like this. I visited the bride quite often in support of the wedding. However, the last few trips didn't go well. She had been erratic in her behaviors and quite rude. Anytime I would mention it, she would speak on me triggering her and how she was uncomfortable with me making her feel a certain way. She claimed that I had not been supportive and that I'm causing drama by not accepting the toxic behavior. She wasn't always like this. I wish I could provide more clarity, but I genuinely don't know what happened. We don't live in the same city, and communication through text became very different than in person. So when the time came and she booted me, I chose to peacefully agree with the bride's decision to remove me as a bridesmaid. The retaliation afterwards was unnecessary. And that's the history of how this bride lost 7 bridesmaids, and now her only remaining bridesmaid is a foreign lady from Europe who is helping fill the last spot. No shade to the last bridesmaid, though. She's sweet. Damn, this girl sounds like a problem. A problem. Like, that's crazy. How old are these people again? Like, I'm actually so confused. How old are you? This only makes sense if you're young. Like, if you're really young and you're just, like, immature and you don't know, you know? Like, this is crazy behavior. Okay, there's an update. 2 hours from side post, next day from original post. Hey everyone, I just needed to start with how incredibly grateful I am for all of the support. Now for the good part. I still have the room. The bride and groom were bluffing. There was a lot of support on here of people confirming this. I see you. The agent ghosted me. A few people here said it might happen. I tried calling periodically again. My number started going straight to voicemail, and she hasn't replied to any emails. A majority of you told me to contact the hotel directly, and I genuinely cannot thank you enough. A lot of people are wondering why I'm still going, and though I have confirmed it in the comments, I will reintegrate for clarity. I have prepaid the flight tickets, the reservation itself, booked time off work, purchased many things for this vacation. Even the transfers between the hotel and airport are already done, and it cost me roughly $5,000 CAD. This trip is less than 2 weeks away, and the reservation for this hotel at this time is non-refundable. These are the key reasons why I was hoping for a resolution. I had contacted the hotel last Friday before I posted this on the weekend. They were able to find the group booking, but the guy doing it wasn't able to find my reservation. I called again today to see if there was another department that could help, and the lady that answered was phenomenal. She confirmed the booking, confirmed that despite the drama happening, they can't cancel my reservation. As a few of you recommended, she did put a note on my reservation saying that I will be arriving and not to change it for any reason. Lastly, she told me to come and enjoy my trip. It's a wonderful vacation, and I'm likely to have an incredibly good time. That this happens a lot and that everything will work out. The hotel has my back. And that, as they say, is that. Wait, why do I want to cry? Because that freaking hotel girl is so cute. Her saying, everything's going to work out. Don't worry, you're going to have so much fun. Like, I love that. That's so sweet. It's true. That's a true girl's girl. That is a true girl's girl. And I don't know why people are even questioning it. Like, it seems pretty clear that the wedding is coming up. Probably many things. When you're when you're doing reservations, you're booking flights, you're doing all this stuff, you're taking days off work. Like, you think that's just so easily. Okay, that's a word now. Easily able to be like taken back or canceled or whatever. I mean, that's a lot of steps to go through. Might as well just go, honestly. And it doesn't seem like it's a her problem. If it was a her problem, I'd be like, okay, maybe reconsider. But like, this girl lost 7 fucking bridesmaids. Clearly that girl is the problem. And she needs to take a look at the man in the mirror. For real. Come on. The top comment says, it may not end up an awkward grooming situation. With 2 whole weeks to go, it's possible that the bride may fire the last bridesmaid as well. It does make me laugh that the one surviving bridesmaid is the one that she's had minimal contact with. She'll probably get fired on the day as soon as they have a chance to talk. What's crazy is that she's going to be just the singular bridesmaid. And I wonder like what she would even think. Is she thinking that 7 other bridesmaids are also showing up? Because I would be like so shook if I came and I thought like my friend had 7 other bridesmaids and then I'm the only one left. I would genuinely question, do I want to be friends with this person anymore? Because it seems like they are not a good person. All right, the title of the next story is Friend Having a Wedding the Day Before Mine and Kept the Relationship Hidden for a Whole Year. What do I do? So I'm getting married in a few weeks. About a month ago, one of my best friends who I've known since college and have kept in regular contact with dropped the bomb that she was getting married. I didn't even know she was seeing anyone. She then drops the bomb that she's marrying a guy in our friend group and that her wedding is going to have to be the day before mine because her father-in-law can't get time off work at any other time that month. And essentially gave her a few other half-assed reasons about why other weekends weren't possible. One weekend will be a few days before her period starts, so she'll be bloated. The other, she's on her period. The other is Valentine's weekend, and that's cringy. The other is too close to Ramadan, so she can't go on her honeymoon straight away. Some backstory about the person she's marrying. She is someone that we always thought she had a thing, but she'd always deny it and say she saw him like a brother. We used to argue a bit over her prioritizing him over me back in college, especially because this guy and I didn't get on much, and her and I were so close. For example, me and her had brunch plans once, and she spent the whole time texting him. After graduating, though, I feel like we all matured and put differences behind us to the point where her husband-to-be was actually invited to my wedding as a friend. My knee-jerk reaction to her telling me she was engaged was crying tears of joy for her. I truly was happy for her. But when I went home to think about it, it felt really icky. All years since I've been wedding planning, she's been asking me really specific questions about my planning process. She complained to me that as my best friend, she didn't feel involved in my planning process and said she wanted to come dress shopping with me, which I invited her to because of her expressing this. But then for her to turn around and tell me that she's been dating this guy on and off for a year while also keeping it a secret makes her feeling left out of my stuff come across as so hypocritical. And then there's the question of why the rush, since she's known him a decade, and why specifically on my wedding weekend when I sent out my save the dates back in March. So she's had much time to plan and leave some time in between. It's not about me having all the attention on me. It's just, how can she expect me to be fully present at her wedding? And how selfish she must be to expect me to have to fit her into an already stressful weekend for me. When I told her this, she doubled down on that weekend being the only one available, and that she specifically chose that one because she knew I'd be available since I'd booked a few days off from work before the wedding, and that she needed me at her wedding. She said I would embarrass her around her future in-laws since she made such a point of needing to pick a date that I could attend, even though I had no clue she was seeing him, nor did she check if the date was a good fit for me. I then also expressed how upset I was that she kept the relationship hidden from me, to which she said she thought I'd cut her off because of my history not getting on with this guy. Again, we all moved past that stuff years ago and are a far cry from the kids we were when we all met back in freshman year. When I told her I didn't think I could make her wedding, she was so upset she cried and said she never thought I'd do that to her and skip her wedding. She's been telling other friends in the friend group that I'm coming to the wedding when they've asked if that date is doable for me. We haven't spoken since my conversation about how upset with her I was a month ago. I'm not trying to be a bridezilla, and I know people are entitled to be private. My issue is that she should have extended that privacy with me and not asked so many questions about my life, knowing she was being so tight-lipped with hers. This is where I need advice. I feel so bitter and like the whole friendship was a lie. I can't make it to her wedding, and honestly, having her at mine feels disingenuous. She's been telling friends she's still coming to mine. Is it rude for me to not go to her wedding? Should I go to her wedding since this is a decade-long friendship? Part of me wants to disinvite her and her husband to be from my wedding because of the lies. Is that rude? Is there a polite way to disinvite your friend from your wedding without coming across like an absolute villain? Thank you for reading up to here if you have. Edit, I'm Middle Eastern, so traditionally we don't have bridesmaids or rehearsal dinner. Also fixed some wording and added more detail. I think that's insane of this girl. Not OP. I think that's insane of her friend to do. That's ridiculous to plan a wedding the same weekend as your friend. Also, the excuses that she made of her being bloated and her being on her period are actually insane. The other things I understand, but her being on her period and her being bloated, that is just a little crazy. What about your friend's whole ass wedding being on that weekend? Like, no. A wedding is something you plan for so long. She's going to be thinking about her wedding all weekend long. You think she has time to be like, let me go to this wedding and then I'll go to my freaking wedding. Like, what? No, absolutely not. She knew when your wedding was as well. So, like, that's just crazy to me that she is pissed off and thinks that this girl is being, like, such a bad friend when you're being the bad friend. Like, how do you not see it? I don't understand how some people are so delusional sometimes. Like, how do you not see it? Like, what is not clocking to you? Actually, I'll never understand. All right, let's read the update. 1.5 months later. A few people in the original post were asking about rehearsal dinners and all of that stuff. I'm Middle Eastern and we don't really do that in our culture. Some people also said I needed to get over myself and that I don't own the whole weekend, which is true. I don't. My issue was the lying and also the expectation of me to drive a total of 5 hours, 2.5 hours there and back, the day before my wedding, and to attend another when I had so many things to finalize. I also just needed to vent. Being lied to and having something that felt so calculated happen in what I thought was one of my closest friendships is strange. Oh, and I don't think it was a shotgun wedding, which a lot of people were suggesting. Anyway, I had my wedding. It was perfect and I wouldn't change a thing. I didn't go to her wedding. I genuinely didn't have the time. I did see some posted videos of her wedding. She didn't copy mine, which a lot of people were worried about considering she had been asking me about all of my prep. I'll give her her flowers though. Her wedding was gorgeous, but definitely not a 2-month planned wedding like she was making it out. It was to me. In the end, she ended up coming to my wedding about 3 hours late. I was too busy being in my own newly married bubble to notice her or anything, but I did get feedback from people who were sitting at her table. Like people said she would in my original post, she spent the whole time talking about her wedding. In our culture, the bride receives a heavy piece of gold jewelry at her wedding. She made a show of having her new husband take her piece of jewelry out of her bag and putting it on her at the table just after my husband and I, feels so nice saying that, did our outfit change. She was also showing off other pieces of jewelry she received, making a point to emphasize that she received real sapphires and real diamonds. Her and her husband also spent the whole time texting each other, which means they were probably saying not very nice things that they didn't want our mutual friends overhearing, and she frequently would turn to him and say, "Don't worry, we're leaving soon." They were also packing on the PDA with neck kisses. Ew. She also then cried to my mom and brother about how she doesn't understand why I've not been talking to her and how I've been so cold to her. This wasn't true. I'd only told her how much her actions and lies had hurt me, and to be honest, she was the one who didn't respond to my last message. My mom, being the classic mom she is, brought her to me and tried to make us hug it out. We have this very awkward exchange caught on camera. My mom did tell my friend that she shouldn't have lied to me for a whole year, though, so it's nice to know she had my back even if she pulled a typical mom move trying to make everyone happy. Our mutual friends are all on my side. No one really thinks that she's in the right. Most of them didn't go to her wedding. With the invites being so last minute and her wedding being on a weekday, a lot of people couldn't get the time off or childcare. No one else knew about the wedding, which is crazy. I do believe that her truth is that she doesn't think she's done anything wrong, and she really does think that she considered me and my situation in her wedding planning. Unfortunately, I think it's one of those friendships where we no longer really align, and I have to take a step back and distance myself from her. I do appreciate that she came to my wedding. However, I think she did it to make a point more than out of the goodness of her heart and respect for our friendship, considering what she pulled. Edited to add more information that some people were asking. Yeah, she definitely did that so she could come and show you all the real sapphires and real diamonds she got and then kiss the neck of her husband. What the hell is wrong with you? What the hell is wrong with you? Like, you're so weird for that. She did that to rub all everything in her face and also to like try to make the attention be on her. I don't know. It seems like so weird to me because maybe it's not malicious, but to schedule a wedding like that the day before your best friend's wedding or whatever seems malicious in intent to me. Like, that seems like you are doing that because for a certain reason. I don't really know what the reason would be. Like, maybe she has always felt competitive against this friend and she's always been like jealous of this friend, so she wanted to like make her weekend stressful or something, but that is just crazy. And I'm surprised anyone commented like not on OP's side, to be honest, and being like, the whole weekend isn't just about you. Okay, that's not the point. That's not the point that she was making. This girl was hiding this from her all year, and then all of a sudden last minute decides to like send out invitations but expects everyone to go. Like, you can't do, especially as adults, like doing something last minute is just so different. Like my stepmom texted me a couple weeks. Wait, I'm trying to think about my dad's birthday is coming up. I just like freaked out for a second because I was like, wait, what, my dad's birthday? Did I miss it? No, I don't think I did. But my stepmom texted me like 2 weeks ago asking, which I had just seen them like 2 weeks prior. And then she texted me probably a week ago, a week and a half ago, I would say, saying like, asking if I would fly fly up to surprise my dad for his birthday, like this upcoming weekend. And I was like, girl, I cannot just do that. Like, I do have a very flexible life, yes, but like, I cannot just book a flight and be like, all right, yep, just I'll be there, you know? Like, I just feel like, and maybe it's me. Maybe some people are a lot more spontaneous, but like, and I feel like as I've gotten older, I'm just much more of a planner. Things like that fully stress me out. Like, I have to have stuff on my planner in order for me to do it. Otherwise, I will never do it. Like, if it's not written down, I will never do it. And I like have to mentally prepare for things, if that makes sense. Like, to schedule an appointment, to schedule a vet appointment, it all feels so daunting to me. So just to add on that like whole scenario of me having to like plan a trip to go home and stuff, especially because like, and I love my family. I'm not saying like, I always feel bad because like sometimes I'm like, am I being selfish? Am I being like a bad family member? But like, I'm going to go there in a couple months for Christmas. I just saw them a couple weeks ago. They came here and like hung out, and it was a really fun time. And also, I don't know. It's just like, also, I don't know. Sometimes I'm like, I'm a people pleaser. And then sometimes I'm like, or am I not a people pleaser? because I didn't want to do this, and I'm like putting my needs before others. And I feel so bad for that. Like, I feel so bad. I'm like, oh, am I a bad person because I'm not going to surprise my dad for his birthday? It just all feels so overwhelming, because it's like that would mean that I have plans. So like I can't, but that would mean that I book a ticket 2 weeks in advance, which means they're probably going to be super expensive. And I don't want to just like spend a bunch of money on a ticket. And then also need to figure out everything with work before. I don't know. Am I making excuses, or is it okay? I don't really want to go. I just didn't really also want to go to Iowa that much either, because I just didn't. Is that bad of me? Oh no. And I also felt bad because my mom's birthday was like a couple weeks ago. It was in July. And I felt like I'm not surprising my mom for her birthday, but I'm going to surprise my dad for his birthday. Like, that feels so wrong to me, especially because my mom is like very, always texting me, always wanting to talk to me. Like, me and my dad don't really talk, and I'm not saying that like means he doesn't deserve me to surprise him at all. I'm not trying to say that. That's how it's going to come off, though. I know. I'm just saying that I'm a lot closer with my mom, and I know that she would actually like sob if I surprised my dad and I didn't surprise her for her birthday, especially because me and my mom are super close and talk every single day of our lives. So yeah. And also feel like as much as my dad does love me, and I know that and never question that, I don't feel like he would care that much if I surprised him. He'd be like, oh, hey, it's not like it'd be like, oh my God, I haven't seen you in so long, I love you so much, crying. It wouldn't be like that. It wouldn't be like some big shebang. It would just be me going there and then like doing something, and then for the rest of the time we'd just be sitting and watching movies, which, don't get me wrong, I love that, but I don't know. It just sounds like a lot to be spending all that money. Ugh, I feel bad. I feel like I'm being such a bitch right now. Like, I'm just like, oh, ew, it's too much work to go for my dad's birthday. Like, but that's not how I'm meaning it. It's just like, it's stressful. But everything's stressful to me. It's actually so annoying. Like, I literally have to write stuff in my planner and mentally prepare for it for days. Like, if I'm going to call, for example, to schedule my cat's vet appointment that I did today. Willa got her yearly vet appointment scheduled for next weekend. And I literally had to mentally prepare when it takes 5 seconds to schedule. But, like, that's just how my brain works. It has to be in my to-do list. And I will get it done because I can't finish the day without crossing everything off my to-do list. But it needs to be there so that I can be like, okay, this is what I have to do today. Mentally prepare for this, girl, because you're going to have to do it. It seems like such a daunting task when in reality it's so easy. I literally called. It took 5 minutes and I got an appointment. Oh my God. That's why it's really important for me to just schedule out the appointment when I'm there, to be like, okay, when they're like, okay, you want to schedule like your next appointment, I just have to say yes every single time from now on, because otherwise I never will. Because I literally get, like, at the dentist, I'm so glad. I wouldn't be going to the dentist every 6 months if I didn't do this. Like, if I didn't say, yeah, can we schedule it now? I wouldn't be going, because I get so worked up about stupid shit like that. And it's so annoying because it's not that big of a deal in retrospect. In logicality, it's really not a big deal, girl. Like, just pick up the phone. Beep, beep, beep. Hello, can I schedule an appointment? Thank you. Goodbye. That's all it takes. But for some reason in my brain, it's a lot bigger of a deal than that. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed that episode. I love you guys so much, and I hope you guys have the best day ever. Thank you for the support. As always, you guys mean everything to me, okay? When you guys comment, like, I feel like we're becoming best friends, that's because we are, okay? Thanks. Talk to you later. Bye. Love you.
Storytime Society is now available on all listening platforms. If you are on any of those listening platforms, I would really appreciate it if you rated me 5 stars. Thanks for all the support.
Love you guys. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.